This is American Voice, offering our perspective on Michael Cohen and his current situation. Let me begin by noting that after 8 hours of cross-examination by Todd Blanche, in a very perplexing interrogation, which is typical for someone who hasn't litigated a case in the last 7 or 8 years, Blanche's inexperience is evident. I don't believe he has actually handled a jury trial in the past 5 years, and his lack of practice is showing. Todd Blanche became so exasperated that he inexplicably began yelling at Michael Cohen about something as trivial as a phone call from 8 years ago, questioning whether Cohen had perfect recall of the conversation with Donald Trump. This clearly baffled the jury. Blanche's frustration was not sudden, but rather the result of Michael Cohen effectively countering Blanche's questions over the last 10 hours in a manner Cohen was unable to achieve in the New York Attorney General case. I will compare and contrast these two cases and then explain why Todd Blanche lost his composure today. The primary reason for Blanche's outburst is that his entire career is at stake. He left his prestigious law firm, where he had a lucrative and comfortable position, to represent a single client, Donald Trump. In this case, he has one crucial task. His opening statement lasted only 20 minutes, which I believe should have been at least an hour and a half, during which he made promises to the jury that he cannot fulfill. Then came his critical moment. Out of 19 witnesses, the cross-examination of Michael Cohen is not proceeding well, leading to evident frustration. It is akin to watching a basketball game where the losing team, in their frustration, hurls the ball into the stands in exasperation. This is what occurred with Todd Blanche today when he shouted at Michael Cohen about a phone call made 8 years ago. Blanche was incensed because Cohen could not perfectly recall the conversation he had with Donald Trump, only the gist of it. Cohen recalled informing Trump that he had resolved the Stormy Daniels issue and that she would not be going to the press about her affair with him, to which Trump was pleased. Blanche's outburst, "The jury doesn't care what you think, the jury wants to know what you know," left the jury as bewildered as I was. If one had walked in from outside without witnessing the prior 12 hours of cross-examination, they might assume this cat-and-mouse game between Blanche and Cohen had been ongoing for a long time. However, it is evident that Cohen has been the dominant party in this exchange. When Cohen testified before Judge Engoron in the New York Attorney General case, which resulted in a $465 million judgment against Trump, his performance was mediocre. As I have previously mentioned, it was akin to a gentleman's B or B-. Cohen was somewhat confrontational, argumentative, and occasionally evasive, giving speeches rather than direct answers. Overall, he appeared somewhat diminished. However, in this criminal case involving Trump, Cohen has been waiting for this moment for the past decade and is prepared to reveal the truth to the jury. He is fully aware of the burden he carries. Having pled guilty to several more crimes than Michael Cohen, if Todd Blanche thought he could embarrass Cohen, he was mistaken. Michael Cohen is intimately familiar with his own life story. Moreover, the Manhattan District Attorney and Cohen's legal team have thoroughly prepared him for this moment. In contrast to the New York Attorney General case, Cohen has exhibited confidence and has effectively countered Blanche's tactics. I have met Michael and appeared on his show. He possesses a certain charm and suavity that the jury, according to those present, seems to appreciate. This favorable perception of Cohen by the jury is unsettling for Donald Trump and Todd Blanche, as they do not want the jury to develop a liking for Cohen. Thus far, Michael Cohen has significantly damaged Donald Trump's position with his testimony. As the sole witness capable of providing this information, Cohen has stated that Trump not only knew about the payment to Stormy Daniels, but also was aware of the falsified invoices Cohen submitted. Trump directed Cohen to submit these fraudulent invoices under the guise of legal expenses, fully aware that they served as a cover for the Daniels payment. Trump ensured these items were recorded in the company's books as false statements regarding legal expenses paid to Cohen, when, in reality, they were reimbursements for the money Cohen disbursed to Stormy Daniels. Only Michael Cohen can testify to these facts under oath in this precise manner, which has been particularly frustrating for Todd Blanche. Furthermore, Cohen has established that this scheme was directly related to the election, which constitutes the second crime necessary to elevate this to a felony. The falsified books and records, on their own, represent a violation of New York's Penal Code, classified as a misdemeanor. However, when committed in furtherance of another crime, in this case, election interference, it becomes a felony. Cohen's testimony on this crucial point underscores that Trump preferred not to pay Stormy Daniels even after reaching an agreement, and hoping he could win the election without her story emerging. This had nothing to do with Melania. There is no defense that he was hiding it from his family. Trump was concealing it from the American public in the wake of the Access Hollywood hot mic incident, and he felt compelled to address it to prevent further allegations from women like Karen McDougal. Karen McDougal and others emerged with stories about his sexual escapades, and this was all about securing his election. David Pecker corroborated this, and Michael Cohen now appears to be the final witness for the prosecution. Cohen's testimony has substantiated the prosecution's case, demonstrating that Donald Trump orchestrated the conspiracy to silence stories about his affairs with porn stars. Trump, under his direction, facilitated payments through Cohen using a shell organization, an LLC, supported by fraudulent invoices to ensure Cohen received a bonus, a premium, and enough to cover his taxes. Cohen has clearly established that Trump led this scheme and that it constituted election interference, which is why Todd Blanche is visibly agitated. After 9 hours of attempting to undermine Cohen's testimony, Blanche's aggressive and heavy-handed approach has not been effective with the jury. From my observation, the jury perceives Cohen as truthful and likable. Cohen has been able to recall details convincingly, which reinforces his credibility. This perception likely frustrates Blanche, as his cross-examination has failed to produce the desired results. Michael Cohen's memory may be imperfect on details from 9 years ago, which is understandable given the minutiae involved. When Todd Blanche questions Cohen's recollection, such as by suggesting Cohen didn't make a particular phone call to Donald Trump, Blanche's intention is to prevent Cohen from confidently asserting to the jury that Trump knew about the Stormy Daniels payoff. This topic is extremely sensitive for Blanche, leading him to react intensely, often screaming at Cohen without apparent reason. However, this tactic appears ineffective and likely signals the weakness of Blanche's case to the jury. If the prosecutors are astute, they will highlight Blanche's outbursts during their closing arguments. They might say, "Recall the moment when my opponent, Mr. Blanche, inexplicably became very angry at Michael Cohen. That happened because Cohen's testimony was damaging to Donald Trump, his client." Blanche's reaction demonstrated the strength of Cohen's convincing testimony and its adverse impact on Trump. This approach would underscore the effectiveness of Cohen's testimony and the defensiveness of Trump's counsel. However, we will continue to monitor this case closely, not only because Michael Cohen is part of our network and hosts a podcast, but because it is a significant news story at the intersection of law and politics. It is crucial when a former president stands trial for criminal charges. As you consider your choice for the next occupant of the Oval Office, whether the current president or the former one, we will keep you updated right here. Subscribe if you want to stay informed up to the last minute of news related to politics in America. This is American Voice. See you in the next video.